This is by far my favorite piece of tech I've used in the last 2 years. Let's talk about it.
You gotta just press record.
Hi everybody, Craig Pruitt here with Think Media. This is the Elgato Prompter and it was released in 2023, but sold out very quickly and a lot of people had to wait around for months and months in order to get their copy to come in. Well, they're back in stock and I just got my prompter a few months ago and this thing has completely changed the way that I create content, but also even the way that I just do my ordinary work on a day-to-day basis. So what is the Elgato Prompter designed to do? Well, first and foremost, obviously it's designed to be a teleprompter. It actually comes with the software that you will need, which we'll talk about a little bit more in just a bit. And you can use that software to upload your scripts to. And now you can do a simple teleprompter read for your videos. And the second, and my favorite way to use this, is as an extended desktop display. The Elgato Prompter is actually recognized by your computer as a display input, which allows you to treat the prompter as a secondary display, which is incredibly helpful. The prompter even auto rotates and mirrors the display. And now you're able to view an extension of your computer screen by looking directly into your prompter where your camera is positioned. This is literally what I'm doing right now. The camera is behind the Elgato Prompter and I'm looking at my notes for this video on the screen. My main reason for purchasing the Elgato Prompter is that I often work remote from even this studio space right here where I record all this content is also kind of my work office space. And I attend a ton of Zoom calls with different people and clients and colleagues, right? And I want to be able to look at those people directly into the eyeballs when I'm doing these video calls. But the problem is that I set up my webcam and I'm looking into my camera sometimes and sometimes looking down at my notes and sometimes trying to like view myself in the corner little window. And it's just not my preferred method to be looking all around. And I'd rather just look directly into my camera lens at all times so I can make eye contact with my guest. Well, this prompter solves that issue for me perfectly. If you just hop on a Zoom call and then you pull that Zoom call onto the teleprompter as a second display that it's functioning as, now you can look at your guest directly in the eyes and maintain eye contact for your video calls. This is perfect for anyone who does coaching calls with different types of clients. If you have a coaching business and you often attend remote meetings with your clients, it's essential to be able to look at them in the eye and just make them feel like you're a person. You're not just like looking around at your desk the whole time or at your computer screen, but you're actually connecting with them as a coach and being a good listener. This is an awesome option to be able to look at them directly in the eyeballs, but also have your notes over to the side of your teleprompter screen if you need to glance at those really quickly, but still maintain better eye contact. This is also great for anyone who does podcasting and wants to be able to have their notes on the screen so that you maintain eye contact with your podcast audience for the duration of the podcast episode, but you can still be scrolling through your notes in real time like I'm doing right now. I'm scrolling through my notes. I see my notes for this video right here, but it also looks like I'm looking directly into the camera because I am. So that's why I decided to purchase the Elgato Prompter, but I'm going to really quickly also do a setup tutorial of the Elgato Prompter because it is a little bit finicky trying to get set up your first time. There's two different methods you can use to mount your prompter setup. The first would be just kind of a standard tripod method. It comes with a little plasticky tripod mounting plate where you can mount the prompter directly to a tripod and then mount a camera on top of that plasticky tripod mount. This mount is not very stable, so I'd actually recommend doing the lens mount option. The prompter comes with a bunch of step-up rings to be able to attach the prompter directly to the front of a camera lens and then attach the lens obviously to your camera. I know it seems kind of strange to mount something this large to the front of your lens, but this prompter is super lightweight. It really doesn't add much weight to your setup at all, and you should have no issues mounting it to the front of your lens. Now, before you plug this into your computer, we need to download the Elgato Camera Hub software. This is the software that will allow your prompter and computer to work together, okay? So we've linked this down in the description below. You can go ahead and download that software. Included in the box is a USB cable that you can connect the prompter to your computer with, and in my case, I needed a USB Type A to USB Type C converter to convert that signal into my MacBook Pro. Just plug that in, and then this is where things get a little bit tricky. For me, when I plugged the cable into my computer, I saw the teleprompter flash for just a second, and then it turned black, and I couldn't figure out why it was not turning on. But then the solution that I came up with was by restarting my MacBook Pro and leaving the cable attached. The next time my computer booted on, the prompter immediately showed up as a second display on my MacBook Pro. So if it doesn't work for you at first, just leave the cable plugged in, restart your computer, and it should work for you. At this point, you're going to want to open up the Elgato Camera Hub, which is where you're going to control your teleprompter. You can change it from text mode, which is the teleprompter software, to display mode, which is how you use the prompter as a display. And there's also a chat beta feature, which displays your stream chat in the teleprompter. This is a feature I haven't used yet, but that is a cool feature that is coming soon and is currently in its beta form. One thing I'll show you real quick is the brightness. I'm currently at 58% brightness, and you can't really see the teleprompter affecting my image at all, but if I brighten this up to 100% brightness, can you see that? Look at this. Yeah, you see that little ghosting? It's like, oh, there's 100%, here's like down to like 50. I currently have a Google Docs window on the prompter. So if I bring that Google Doc, which is kind of a white document, to 100% brightness, obviously a white screen is shining light directly onto my camera lens and it's affecting the image. As you can see, it's kind of like white and ghostly. If I just lower that a little bit, that goes away completely. So we can see that. 99% of the time I'm using the display mode because I'm a huge fan of having bullet points over having a full script. That's just me personally. So I'm usually having Google Docs or my Apple Notes or web articles or PowerPoints on my screen right here rather than the teleprompter script. So that's a brief setup tutorial. It's pretty easy to use, just a couple of quirks to get up and running. A quick word from our sponsor of this video, Epidemic Sound.
If you're a content creator or YouTuber that's looking for music or sound effects for your videos, then you've got to check out Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound has the best selection of music for your videos that allow you to monetize with no issues, and you can search according to mood, music style, beats per minute, so that every time you find that perfect track. And the reason I love Epidemic Sound is, number one, the music is amazing, but number two, you have full rights to monetize your content on YouTube and social media wherever you're using their songs. So if you're ready to take your videos to the next level and access the largest music and sound effects catalog of its kind, just use the link in the description down below to take advantage of this special offer. All right, let's jump back into the video.
There are a couple of things that I would like to see improved with future iterations of the Elgato Prompter. The first being is just the software stability with Mac systems. Sometimes the prompter just doesn't even turn on for me and it doesn't get recognized by my computer, and I have to completely reboot my laptop in order to get it to turn on. It's kind of frustrating. I'd love for that to be improved in the future. I'd also like to see a little bit of a larger screen option, something closer to maybe 11 or 12 inches. This is a 9-inch display, which is fairly large for a monitor, but I notice myself kind of like leaning in a little bit and like squinting sometimes to try to see what's on my teleprompter. And one of the ways to solve this problem is by having a larger display. You can then blow up the text a little bit larger on that larger monitor, which would be really helpful. So if Elgato released an 11-inch or a 12-inch version of this prompter, I think they would sell a ton of units. And the last thing I'll mention is the teleprompter software feels a little bit limited at times. I tend to use third-party teleprompter apps on my iPad when I need to gravitate towards using a teleprompter solution for production work, and I probably would still do that at this point rather than using the teleprompter software included with this unit. But overall, I love the Elgato Prompter. This thing has lived at my desktop setup since I opened the box. I put it on my camera right here, and this thing has lived here for a super long time. And I even plan to maintain this in my desk setup even as I change up my battle station over time. This to me is an essential piece of tech that I'm going to keep for many years to come. Links are down in the description to purchase this prompter, and there are some additional links to download the Camera Hub software that you'll need to get this up and running, as well as a link or two to get support with setup if needed. Thanks so much for taking time to watch this video. You can click or tap the screen to watch another Think Media video here on the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.